Where are tasks, subtasks, and checklists on Monday.com? Isn't it task management system? Unfortunately, no. Or fortunately. It's actually a work OS, which is much more than task management system. But if you still need simple tasks, subtasks, and checklists, I will help you find them in this video. So Monday.com is not a task management tool. It is workOS. WorkOS is more than just another task checklist app. It's a platform that provides your teams with autonomy to build customizable tools and structures. But then you see that there are problems when you want to simplify everything. So you start searching for tasks, for subtasks, and checklists. Can you still call an item a task? Yes, it's called item terminology on Monday. Let me show you the example of what specifically. Okay, so we are in this board of event planning, and this board is based on item being a name of person. So these are not tasks. But let's say if you decide to create a board where we do have an item as a task, then very simple way what you could do is simply click on these three buttons right here, board settings, and change item terminology. So instead of an item, you can choose task. Change, and you see what it does. It calls all these items tasks. So that's basically how you get tasks on Monday boards. Now let's talk about sub-items. So sub-items is an interesting case on Monday.com, and there's still some disappointments because the first thing is that item level status is not automatically reflecting the sub-item status. So let me show you an example, okay? Here what we have is, again, the same board with the names, and let's say we added few sub-items under Molly. We want to contact the team and set the budget, okay? And we have here status, type, team, and if we are updating the status, it does not relate to any of the status up front, unless what we do is we click settings and we click on show summary on parent item. So let's do it. What happens is we get this nice sub item status. So everyone gets excited once they see this function. However, there's a huge limitation. Parent mirror column cannot be used in automation, and that becomes a huge deal breaker for most visions of the board and of the project and expectations. Next thing is that you only get one sub-item level. Of course, my recommendation is to use just one level, because if you try to make sub-item of sub-item, the statistics tells us that they never get finished, to be honest. And that's one way of procrastination and hiding your tasks. But still, a lot of teams expect to have sub-item of sub-item. You can't have that. You get just one level under item. And the final thing is, in the Gantt charts, in the view of the Gantt chart on Monday.com, you can't see sub-items. So if sub-item represents some really strategic item that you want to see in your timeline and in your Gantt chart, you can't. So that's the three main things that everyone needs to know about the sub items limitations on Monday that still exists now when I'm making this video. I'm hoping that Monday.com will have some native solutions to work better with sub items level. There are third-party apps that you can buy on Monday.com marketplace that try to fix these limitations. But what I noticed is they are just very expensive and not a lot of teams are ready to pay for the monthly cost those apps impose on them. So do we at least get checklists on Monday.com? Again, Monday uses an excuse that is not a checklist platform, but everyone loves checklists. At least I do. So we still get access to them, but in rather an interesting place. It's called updates or conversations. So let's check, okay? So if we click our item or a task, what we have here is conversation, okay? And conversation includes updates. You see this checklist I created before. That's where you can create your checklist. Let's do it now. Once you click on create an update, you can choose this option called checklist. And let's start. Let's see how it works, okay? If you publish the update, you see that you have checklist by looking at this check mark near the item name. Now, what happens is if I go to the update and say, okay, I bought coffee, great. What it does, it updates this specific item. Okay, so that's all that you have. Checklists are not part of the automation. The only automation sort of structural elements that you have are statuses and groups, but checklists are not part of automation. So they have to be used for very not strategic sort of tiny tasks or as a reminders, but not as a strategic task. So you see, it updated that I completed all of my checklists related to this specific item, but it has nothing to do with status. So for example, if you expect that you create a checklist in the update in the conversation, and if it goes green, you want the status to change to complete, it cannot happen, unfortunately, at least now. Another thing is that yes, you get checklist on a sub-item level, because on the sub-item level, you can also start the conversation and checklist right here. Okay, again, let's do it this way. But what happens is you can only see checklist completion or status only under that item. So you can't, again, automate them sub-item to item levels, and each checklist belongs just to either item or sub-item. So they're very autonomous structures related to these specific levels. So you get checklists, but not in a way that you, or at least most of my clients, expect for them to be automated and work in relation with status.